Wow. Oh, let's see. Oh. How's it going, folks? It is Thursday, and we are joined by two fine fellows from Battlelords of the 23rd century. Welcome, guys.
All right, thanks to be here.
So we're going. So let me kill the banner. So tell me, first question for you guys. Battlelords has a long and storied history. So where did it all start out? What is Battlelords? When did it begin? And then we'll get into like how it came to Savage Worlds and all that good stuff. But what was the what is Battlelords, and when did you guys get started with it?
Battlelords is a military science fiction game. We've been around for 33 years now. It was originally started by a military veteran named Larry Sims, who also owned a game store in Buffalo, New York. And Larry wrote it based on his experience in the Army in the 80s. And it's changed hands a couple times since then, but always with somebody affiliated with the company. And we're on the 33 years now.
I mean, that is storied in RPG terms. I mean, Savage Worlds itself, we're only celebrating 20 years this year, so that's another 50% older than Savage Worlds itself. So there's some legs there. So how did you guys? When did you bring to Savage Worlds? What's the history there?
We were looking. Classic Battlelords is very crunchy. And we were looking for a way to bring it to a wider audience and maybe streamline it a little bit. And we looked around and tried different systems and eventually decided that Savage Worlds would be a perfect fit, particularly given Battlelords' over-the-top nature. I think the reviewer at Forbes described it as a glorious excess. There we go. Yeah, the glorious excess of Battlelords. So we figured Savage Worlds would be a perfect fit. I think it is.
Yeah, that's awesome. That is awesome. So you've got good news, guys. I mean, that's the whole thing. It's like you ran a big Kickstarter, very successful, and I think you've even got some samples to show me that stuff is finally in printed. It's real. It exists.
Yes. Yeah, we received the books today, actually. So the books are here. They'll be ready for order, and we'll be hopefully shipping them out by the end of the month. They're going to debut officially at Gen Con in Indianapolis at the beginning of August.
Oh, that's super exciting! Super exciting. I know you got a green screen. It was causing us a little fits before in the pre-show, but can you show us? Can you give us a nice little thud to show us how?
I'll give it a try. We'll see if we can see it. Maybe.
The green screen's eating up. Let's see. I will give people. So if you go to battlelords.com, that is the best place. Like right now, you can run over there, and actually I'll bring it up on screen. Why not? Let's go bring up Battlelords, and we'll run through it. Because you guys have some great art for this.
We're very proud of our artwork.
Here we go. So I mean, it's got the space theme in the background, very, very on brand for SavageUniverse, and love the logo and it's animated logo. Like, so tell me, like, who is this character we see with the awesome mohawk haircut and the future weapons? Like, what kind of soldier is that? What's going on in that?
That's CD Kurniasari. She is a actual Battlelord. Battlelords are sort of like galactic sheriffs. The Alliance determined that there's just not enough military to go around to cover Alliance space, so they find these combat veterans or mercenary veterans who can handle themselves in a fight, usually when they're outnumbered, and they get their own personal battle cruiser and a contingent of battle knights, and they're in charge of protecting a particular sector of space. And that's CD right there. So everyone aspires to be a Battlelord, because who doesn't want their own personal war cruiser and a suit of ultra armor?
Right. I mean, it's like, there's never enough stompy robots. Stompy robots there's always room for more stompy robots. So so tell us like what kind of characters do you play in this setting, and what kind of adversaries are you up against?
So you can choose from 15 different species to play. Typically, you play corporate mercenaries or corporate spies or pirates or soldiers, but really you can play anything you want. We've had people play characters who are rock stars or bounty hunters. And right now the Alliance is at war with the techno-organic hordes of the Arachnids. So there's these hordes of techno-organic and cybernetic, basically monsters that are invading, and you can fight them. You can fight other mercenaries. You can fight the there's an arachnid there. You can fight the Atlantean nanoswarms. Or you can go up against one of Uncle Ernie's minions of doom. Uncle Ernie is a nihilistic psychopath that makes genetically engineered monstrosities for fun and profit and distributes them to the highest bidder, or sometimes just wherever he wants for fun.
Let's be honest.
I think I like Uncle Ernie. That's my kind of speed. So I mean, is this? There's a whole lot going on, right? So is this very kitchen sink? Is it kind of there's just so many influences. Like, is there anything you can't do? Is there any kind of angle that you guys didn't cover in the Battlelords universe?
The universe is very kitchen sink. You can do, if you want to do something like Firefly, or you want to do something like Starship Troopers, it's certainly capable of handling that. The focus, like we sort of put the focus on those 4 character types, mercenaries, pirate, soldiers, and spies, just to help people focus in a little bit. And we provide a lot of background material on running those types of characters. You can pretty much do whatever you want. From a rules perspective, it's really geared with bringing futuristic armored infantry combat to Savage Worlds. There's a lot of really cool weapons and a lot of highly customizable armor in the game. So that's sort of our rules niche.
Yeah, and I would say in terms of what ground you can cover, Tony wasn't kidding. We said we've had a group that was that we talked with at Gen Con one year that's talking about they had a campaign running where they had rock star soldiers and they were running concerts and battles. One of my groups ended up
Battle of the Bands.
Yeah.
One of my groups ended up running a cruise line for a little bit. That kind of got weird.
One of my favorite games began on a cruise line. It was the War of the Dead. Like, you had zombies, and the zombie outbreak happens while you're on a cruise ship. Hey, World War V could happen while you're on a cruise ship, and there you go. Or maybe just get away. It's like Ryza. You want to get away from all the mercenarying and stomping and shooting for a nice little weekend on a. Wasn't that the basic theory of Fifth Element? Aren't they going off to like a pleasure cruise ship? And see, just because it's a cruise ship, you're supposed to be taking it easy, doesn't mean you can't have aliens and blasters and stompy mechs and bombs. Like that's
yep.
That's just,
and the whole setting has a very much a have and have not kind of a background. So there's absolutely a lot of opportunity for going down a completely different path, which is being part of the rebellion, who is trying to expose the lies of the government and take out the megacorps who run everything.
Nice.
If you want to stick to the man, you can stick it to the man.
So, Legend of Gamer Dad, absolutely. Give us a question about a Kickstarter, and we will throw it up for the folks if you haven't already. So on the Kickstarter, so backers, like you said, the books are in hand. I think you already mentioned it, but just to be super clarify. So backers should start kind of expecting end of the month. It's kind of when you guys will start shipping out the rewards for people who back the Kickstarter.
We're hoping that they'll start receiving them early to mid-August. So we got to get back from Gen Con before we start shipping stuff.
That's true, right? It definitely is hard getting shipping and cons out the door. Like
there we go.
Oh, there we go. Oh,
Thank you, Knight Smith of the dinner table.
Right, Benny for Knight Smith.
There we go.
Nice. Ooh.
Yeah, there we go.
Those look great. I like that gloss cover. That really kind of brings out the. So tell us about the 3 books. What are the 3 books? What can they find inside? Is there kind of a plot point campaign, gear manual? Like what's going on with each of the 3 books?
Well, the core rules is basically all you need to play. It's got everything in there: species, weapons, armor, a few rules custom to Battlelords. All of that can be ported into any Savage Worlds game. If you want futuristic armor or weapons or vehicles or alien species, it can all be ported over. The Carnage Companion, because again, we've got the glorious excess of Battlelords. If you're not excessive, you're never really sure. Has more weapons, more armor. It has vehicles. It also has archetype characters for all 4 teams: pirate, soldier, spies, and mercenaries. So you just want to pick one up and go. There's ready to play characters in there. And the Alliance Setting Guide is the guide to the Battlelords universe, and it also includes spaceships and rules for running them, which are based off of the Savage Worlds chase rules. And hostile alien life forms. That's where your arachnid horde minions are at. And with all of them, we tried to utilize the existing Savage Worlds rules as much as possible, so that everything would port over if you wanted to use it in something else as cleanly as possible. So if there was a rule in Savage Worlds to accomplish what we needed, we used it.
Oh, that's awesome. And like besides the books too, you mentioned that there's like a card deck that was also kind of unlocked during the Kickstarter.
Yeah, we have custom Battlelords themed playing cards, and it has all of the different Battlelords alien species on them. So we played with those for the first time recently. They're a lot of fun.
Yeah, well, yeah, you got David Elbert who backed in the comments. So I got to give you guys kudos because being I'm not on the production side, but knowing what the production side does, doing a custom card deck is very expensive because you need custom card artwork for either some or all of the cards. Looks like you have custom artwork on all the cards, right? Like it looks like there was that is awesome. That is, mwah. I love seeing Aces pull that off because that's a lot of art to go in. And
the custom poker chips were actually more expensive than the cards for us, but and as a result, those were pretty much only available to Kickstarter backers. That's unfortunately not something that we will have for poker chips, but we do have, in classic Battlelord sense, we also use dog tags as Benny counters. So you can order a chain of Battlelords dog tags, the dog tags of your victims or your fallen friends, and chuck them out on the table as bennies.
Oh, that is awesome. I think the most creative I've seen is we had a great game master, Joe Thomas, locally, who had like 50 caliber shells as bennies, but dog tags. That's pretty cool. I like that. That's pretty awesome. So David, what brought you into the universe of Battlelords, and what were your contributions to the whole kit and caboodle?
Okay. I started way back. I remember when Dirt first came out. It was really cool. Made it a lot easier to grow vegetables. Tony introduced me to.
I mean, sliced bread is like very recent on your history. You're talking.
Yeah, I mean,
before there was beer, you were old as salt.
But Tony brought me into the game in the mid '90s, I think it was. It's been a while, and I'd grown up on Travelers as sci-fi and the striker rule systems that introduced really the ability to create tanks, the high guard system for creating spaceships. So I cut my teeth on all that a long time before I ran into Battlelords. And Battlelords had all the guns that you just didn't have in Travelers. So I looked at kind of melding the two together. That's kind of how I got hooked. Creating options for the rules, because even up until the current edition, there were really no rules for how to run Starship games in a space environment.
It was always very infantry focused, which is great, but we got tired of people asking us where the spaceship's at. So now they're in there.
Yep. So that's awesome. So like just this week, just yesterday, we were doing some foot chase kind of how to be creative foot chases, and that's one of the biggest things folks request for in Savage Worlds is like, I want ship-to-ship combat and all of its different flavors. So you guys want to talk a little bit about how those rules came about, how they work, kind of what is some of that crunch behind doing the space battles?
Sure. Yes, the ship-to-ship combat. I really like the chase rules in Savage Worlds, and we implemented them wherever we could. And, one of the things that occurred to us is, skipping ahead or skipping behind, normally done by, by making your maneuver rolls. But what if you've got like a displacement device and you can cheat, and that will skip you ahead or behind in the chase, wherever you want? Or, what does a broadside look like in a spaceship? And really the focus of Battlelords is the character. So to keep that in space combat, the goal is usually to board the other ships or to repel boarders. And there are many ways to do that in Battlelords. So those maneuvers and actions become important because you might want to board the other guy's ship, or they're boarding your ship and you have to repel the attackers. And in the setting guide, we have deck plans for all the ships. So you can actually do this is my ship, I'm going to repel the boarders, and this is their ship, and I'm going to see if I can take over.
Yeah, and it's important from a context perspective to remember that the game's setting is broadly out on the fringes of existence. Think like the Caribbean in the 1400s. If you got stuck out somewhere, it might be a year or three before somebody came back to check you out, and you may be gone like Jamestown. You just some of these settlements just disappear.
Croatoa.
Yep, exactly, Croatoan. And so the value of being able to get a ship, even if it's not completely 100% good, it's still 99% better than what you had, which was nothing, right?
I mean, that is one of the things that's kind of hard to get into players' kind of minds in thinking the same thing when we were working on Buccaneer, and is that at a certain age, the age of exploration, these were like moonshots. There was no one coming after you, and even in today's room, we saw it with the recent sub disaster. Was there's not another sub to come get you guys. There's that's it. There's these things are too far away. Whatever. It's like that's just the kind of the reality of pushing the boundaries of like human exploration. So when you are out there in space and it's not highly populated, there's a whole lot of nothing between you and anybody else. Those are interesting kind of challenges to put forth with players and kind of figuring out how time and distance and food and oxygen are all resources that are easy to take away or limit. So on that front, like you talked a little bit about kind of like the four main player classes. Did you guys do a plot point campaign with the Kickstarter in the book, or how do adventures usually run? Is there a generator, or kind of what kind of flavor do you guys usually write for Adventures for Battlelords?
It's really open-ended. We did include a sample adventure in the setting guide, but really, and one of the books that we're working on converting from classic Battlelords to Savage Battlelords is a series of one-shot adventures, and the book's called Charlie Foxtrot. So we're working on that. But the adventures that we write span from, I've got a bulletproof vest and a sharp pointy stick to I'm in mechanized ultra armor with reflex missiles and plasma cannon that'll vaporize a tank. And the adventures themselves are just as varied. Sometimes it's a bug hunt. Sometimes it's you have to infiltrate a corporate facility to steal secrets from another competing megacorp that employs your mercenaries. Sometimes you're pirates and you're doing a raid on a luxury space station because that's where all the loot is.
That's where the money is. Yes. Why do you rob banks? Because that's where the money is, of course.
Yeah, exactly. It's silly to rob a garden. You're not going to find any money there.
Right. No one wants flowers.
But to help players, one of the first pages in the core rules is, these are the typical assignments for corporate mercenaries. These are the typical assignments for corporate espionage types and so on. So we give you a list of the things that they usually do. And as you dig through the books, there's more information about those kinds of missions and those kind of characters.
I mean, so I'm like, in the kind of the scope and size, I'm hearing riffs. In kind of the corpo, I'm hearing like aliens and little bit of like Run. What's the Shadowrun? Right?
Shadowrun.
Obviously you said Traveler's a major influence. The kind of the cool thing is, I don't know. Obviously Rifts does big stompy mechs, but it's not nearly as space kind of focused. It sounds like you guys are filling a real kind of cool niche as far as RPGs that have all the equipment, all the big stuff, that you can the toys from, you said, a sharp pointy stick all the way up to like space lasers. Mm-hmm. So the what is the kind of the scale? I mean, is it is a lot of it traveling out in the deep distance, or is it that's another thing too. In this timeline, what's up with Earth? Is this an Earth as we know it plus the future setting, or is Earth unrecognizable? What is kind of the home solar system like in this setting?
So Battlelords, the full name is Battlelords of the 23rd Century. So it takes place in the 23rd century. In about the year 2100, a group of aliens who formed the then Alliance basically showed up on Earth and said, "Hey, we're going to give you about a decade to get your act together, and then we're going to invite you to join because the arachnids are heading towards you, and when they get here, they're going to wipe you out as a species." We want a mutual protection alliance. And so from that point on, humans were integrated into this alliance of species that basically had formed originally as a mutual protection pact. So we're still around. We're still the most populous sentient being in the galaxy. The nickname for humans is breeders. because there's more of us than everybody else by about a factor of 10.
But don't forget,
which is one of the reasons they needed us. Yeah.
The fodder on the way.
Yes. But yeah, the fodder catching up. The fodder are redneck bunny hybrids, and they breed like bunnies.
Oh, so tribbles.
Yes,
Tribbles without the trademark.
Yep. There's a fod on the back cover. You can see one.
Oh, nice. The so tell me, like, I mean, the what's it like being in developing for kind of a property that has been around for so many years? The there seems to be like some considerations that other folks who have got that my homebrew that I might publish one day and it's been 10 years just don't have to deal with when you've got something that's that has a story and history. Like, well, what's it been like kind of growing that universe and growing the mythos and all that kind of stuff?
So there's been some challenges. People have the things that they've always had, and they get very attached to the way things have been. And so sometimes it's a little hard to change things. The original versions of things looked an awful lot like D&D, but with guns. So space elves, space dwarves, space this, space that, space the other. And so we've really tried to lean very hard into the sci-fi. We actually did a show, and they were asking us questions about the science behind things, and we have all the science behind things, and they were rather surprised that we weren't doing any hand-waving of, and magic occurs here. It's like, no, here's the science about it. Here's where it occurs on Earth. So we've tried to really lean hard into that. Some things we've been able to change. Some things we've just had to set aside. Some things didn't change.
So folks are saying like Star Trek Troopers, Star Trek First Contact, Ender's Game, and now I'm hearing Expanse with the we do things the way science does things. I like that. So what are some other influences? Like, besides the Ender's Game, Star Trek Troopers, Star Trek Expanse, what keeps you guys as creative juices flowing on in creating for this world, for this universe, I should say?
I think.
Go ahead.
I was going to say, I think anything where it's just a little bit bent or twisted. So bringing in kind of a Mega City 1 feel, where there's a very ham-handed response to something that maybe was a bit overdone, and the troops are there to do something that's just a little bit wrong.
Things always go off the rails in Battlelords, and we plan it that way. Characters are typically over-equipped and under-trained for what they're trying to do. If we've got any military vets in the audience, they'll recognize why the name of our scenario book is Charlie Foxtrot, because those happen a lot. And the themes of the game are the characters are always grunts in the trenches, no matter where they're at. They're always low person on the totem pole. One of the other themes we have is overcoming speciesism. There's stereotypes about all of the species in the Alliance, and you can either play towards those or subvert expectations by playing against them. As Dave mentioned, the megacorps run everything, so we've got runaway capitalism is a theme, and my favorite theme is dark humor. You've got a soldier or a mercenary. That's how they deal with some of that trauma. So there's a lot of dark humor elements in the game.
So I want to join the Battlelords, travel the universe, meet exotic new species, and shoot them.
Yes.
Nice. A fun question, because you guys are like floating heads. I can't even see that you guys have bodies. Because did you two coordinate your shirts, or is that just a coincidence?
That's our standard Battlelords attire. We wear it at conventions.
Love it.
Our art director also runs a print shop. And he is like, I got a great idea. I'll get you guys these shirts. And we got them. And we were like, oh, God, they're hideous. But then we found out at a convention like Gen Con or Origins, where there are 60,000 people around, we're really easy to pick out of a crowd. Everyone goes, oh, there goes the Battlelords guy.
Yep. You look for that neon green of like a tennis ball, that really bright, in your eyes, I'm blinded kind of green, camouflage. That's us. Guarantee you're not going to find anybody else that looks just like these shirts.
I mean, Shane picked that neon orange for the early days of Deadlands in the D20 era for exactly the same reason. You could see it on a shelf a mile away. Like, what's that game? And it worked. So
I kind of miss that color to be.
right. Bring it back. Back. I think we still have some D20 books in the warehouse. Maybe we should do a blowout sale and finally clear out our stock of the D20 books. But you don't miss them. I mean, you can see them. I'm like, oh, that's Deadlands. I can see it right here. That store has Deadlands. So any other plans? Are you guys running games at Gen Con? What's going on at Gen Con this year? You guys, stuff that people can still sign up for? I think one of the sign up deadlines might have come and gone, but you know, you guys running a booth? How can folks find you who are going?
Yeah. So we have a booth, and we'll be running a lot of games, and it's upstairs across from the hall this year. Last year, it was all the way in the Lucas Oil Stadium, which was a bit of a hike for those who've been to Gen Con. So this year, we're at least right there next to the hall, which will be very convenient. And we always encourage people, stop by, because we try to make sure there's a little bit of extra room to throw people into the game. And as we all know, people no-show because they overschedule or life happens or whatever. So usually we can find some spots. So we highly encourage everyone, just stop by. We do the e-ticketing, so it's really easy. We can add you right there on the spot.
Nice. You guys still looking for volunteers or game masters or just players at this point?
We've had a few people volunteer to run games, and they're running their own games. And we're in the process of trying to add more game masters from within the company, because we did not anticipate the level of enrollment in the Savage Battlelords games. They filled up within hours of Gen Con opening event registration. So we're trying to add more game masters for those events. But like Dave said, you know, show up if there's a seat, or even if there's not, we'll usually try and find a way to work you in.
Yeah, and this year we're also going to add in a standing table where we're just going to run through some of the basics of how the gameplay and the setting work, just to give people a little bit of a feel for how things go without having to be in the full game, or if they can't get into a full game, they can at least get something. Just give people options.
Oh, that is super awesome. I think for friends of the show, that Carolina Game Tables has a much expanded booth this year at Gen Con. So I think they're still looking for volunteers. If you can help man the booth, you can get in touch with Jody. And they're still looking for volunteers for that. So it should be fun. Definitely stop by and say hello if you're there to go play some Battlelords. Also say hi to Jody and Clint. And let's see, what other good questions has chat come up with? Okay, so Pinnacle's going to steal your ideas, and we're going to get bright yellow shirts. That is a guaranteed. Okay.
I know somebody who can make them for you.
Yes, we can connect. We can have our people talk with your people.
All right. Ooh, well, is John Doom a vet, or does he just know vet speak? Speaking of which, while I'm running through questions, do you guys have military backgrounds, service backgrounds? It sounds like you guys talk the talk. So
we don't. There are some people that we work with, and people who wrote the game originally were all military backgrounds. But we have a wide variety of backgrounds, but not in that area.
Yeah, we do have a lot of background though with the various types of equipment. Firearms and unarmed combat and stick fighting and knife fighting and all kinds of other fun ways of playing.
I mean, I kind of love your guys' vibe. It's very much like you mentioned before, we are under-trained but over-equipment. I mean, like what little 12-year-old boy or 6-year-old boy playing in a sandbox is not like, you know, all the equipment, none of the training, but hey, we're going to play Cops and Robbers or Cowboys and Indians or Colonial Marines and Aliens or Battlelords, right? Like that's so the vibe that I think. I mean, that's my favorite part of role playing. It's like we didn't really grow up. We just you know speak a little. We added dice to the game, but you know, like it's still all the same. Like you know, fun and imagination. And no Crip, right? We are Miami button. No, the little Don Johnson chest hair and yeah, no.
That's Street Wolves. You need Street Wolves for that.
Salmon. Salmon is the color for men who can't admit that they want to wear pink. That's what salmon is for. Salmon and yet lemon. Ooh, that's actually very delicious. Definitely keto. Okay, so a bunch of questions about the coloring. So you guys are right. If people are this excited about your camo shirts, I think you guys have successfully checked off the marketing goals of being.
And we do sell Battlelords camo shirts, and we'll have them at Gen Con. They won't be this color though, because we don't want people to get confused. But there are Battlelords camo shirts for sale at Gen Con.
Nice. So someone from Facebook says, any luck for a Strategicon in LA from Battlelords?
We're looking at expanding next year, but we haven't decided where we're going yet. So tell them to send us the info.
Okie doke. Yeah. Facebook user. I don't know who you are. If you click on Facebook and give StreamYard permission to use your ID, it'll actually give your name. Ask your con directors if they want to bring these guys out as guests. That's the easiest way to get folks to show up near you, is to get your con directors to be like, yes, we can give you flights and hotel rooms. So just a little tip on making that happen. John Doom, Mr. Krav Maga. That's why John Doom knows. John Doom is one of the Krav Maga guys.
Guys, lots of fun.
Here's a good one, Vankel. So on some of your characters, are they equipped with armor that is tailored, or is it generic?
We
Depends on
don't
how
get
much they spend on it.
generic. Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, our armor is highly customizable. There's a whole chapter on armored suits, body armor, heavy armor, mechanized battle armor, and then there's another chapter on armor options from missile systems and sensor systems to movement systems. Yeah, you name it.
Talons, ropes,
Yes,
grapples, flight systems.
jetpacks. You want to be Iron Man or Boba Fett, you can get that in there. Integrated weapons, you name it. One of the unique things about Battlelords is each weapon has a unique way of bypassing armor, and that's usually triggered on an attack roll raise. And there are defenses against those particular weapons, but you have neither the space nor the money to put all of them in your armor. So it's a little bit like poking, around to find the weakness in the armor. It encourages players to have a diversity of weapon types, because you might find the one that'll dig through that armor a little quicker than the rest.
I like that. That's cool, and that's also like kind of fun niche protection too. So not everybody is doing the same things. You're not strictly relying on folks to use the same, blast and burst powers and hopefully trap them differently. It's like no. There's actually mechanical differences, and you can't have them all. So you must choose.
And for our matrix controllers, who are the Savage Worlds equivalent of power users, we've added rules for tweaking existing matrices to utilize those different ways. Like, let's try electricity. No, that didn't work. Let's try, fire or whatever. So they can tweak their matrices, which are what we call powers, in order to see if they can do the same thing.
That's cool. Super cool. Okay, so Clint asked, what part of making the game did you guys each immediately think, ooh, that's cool?
Dave, you want to go?
Sure. The Lego ability of everything. Everything can just be built up to a ridiculous level. You can modify your guns. We've toned that down slightly because we just have so many guns now. And then all the modifications you can do to armor. There's literally dozens of pages of modifications in the classic rules, and even in Savage, there's still a whole bunch of different ways of playing with this. It's like having a whole system of Legos, and you can just put things together for a lot of different combinations. You get a little bit of that vibe that you get in games like Magic the Gathering, where if I put this together and this together, neither one of these is particularly good, but you put them together and then boom, everything gets really cool.
I guess I'm still like I said, a kid in the candy store. The thing I got most excited about was seeing the artists bring the setting to life. I mean, we sort of hinted that we're pretty proud of our art. You can kind of see that. There we go. There's an arachnid. The art is just spectacular. We looked all over the world, literally, for some of the best artists we could find on the book. There's a drop ship. And you can actually go to DriveThruRPG and download a free PDF of just the art. It's our interior art preview. So if you want to see some of the cool art, it's in there. But that's what really got me, is when those art pieces start rolling in from the artists, and you're like, that's really cool.
So DriveThruRPG's got the quick start. Is there also a separate art file?
There is. There's a separate interior preview PDF with a lot of the art in it.
Yeah. Okay, so folks, right up on the screen now is the free quick start rules. So grab those, and let's see. Let me grab the link for that art preview, because that's hot. I mean, art sells, right? So let's see. Quick start rules, conversion. Conversion guide, also absolutely free. Interior preview is the one it is.
Yep.
Nice.
I was looking for it. You found it first.
Gotcha. Awesome,
bro.
Right. Right. Yeah, yes.
Free
as in beer or lunch.
There's also a free set of virtual tabletop tokens that you can download for Battlelords, and we are currently negotiating with a Roll20 developer for Savage Battlelords. Nobody knows yet.
Spoiler.
That's good. I just love seeing licensees get all the things, right? So one question, I'm not sure if we've seen them, but any miniatures, or is it Theater of the Mind, or besides the tokens and the BTT?
Dave, I'll let you take that one.
Yeah, predominantly it's been Theater of the Mind. We've been looking at miniatures, and we've got a lot of things going on, so we're trying to keep focused on the more state content, and looking really right now at VTT. Those are kind of where we're getting the focus on more of a miniatures feel.
Yeah, minis are hard. It's a whole different market. There's a whole lot of production things that like after it's all downstream of all the creative, right? So it's like things go wrong and it's other people's fault, but it's like, it's minis are hard, especially for like RPGs too. Like on the board games, people are willing to spend a lot more money on a board game with lots of miniatures in it, and you get like the quantities you need to get those cheap. For us RPG players who are like they'll spend money on books, but then like it's tough getting those order quantities. So I don't blame you guys, especially for a system like you guys are running, where it's like there aren't just like 6 miniatures you're gonna create, right? Like you need 400 different. You got Well, we want the ships too, and we want the aliens. I mean, it's a little that would be daunting. That would be daunting. And there are Kickstarters of Doom paved with good intentions of trying to get miniatures out that just didn't happen because miniatures production it's pretty difficult, especially these days. So let's see, any other good question? Oh, here we go. Is armor based on body composition, aka can aliens not wear certain things?
Yes and no. Armor price and expansion slots varies with the size of your character. So if you're big, you pay more for armor. And then armor is species specific. So if you're playing a Fentari, who's basically a humanoid squid equivalent, no one else can wear your armor because you have 4 tentacles. Or if you're a shape-shifting Mazian, you need to buy a special suit of armor that lets you continue to use those shape-shifting abilities. But yeah, this is to a certain extent. Yeah, armor is species specific and size specific.
I didn't know you guys had shapeshifters. That's awesome. Yeah, there's lots of good stuff here. I don't want to use the Gonzo kitchen sink reference, but it's good. It's like there's a cornucopia of options. It sounds like,
and each species has their own set of, in addition to their unique species abilities, they have their own set of hindrances and edges outside of the sort of generic hindrance and edges that any Battlelord player can get for their character.
So yeah, John Doom brings up edges. He says, I think John Doom wants power play here. I hear power creep, John. That's what I'm hearing. Did you update how many edges a PC gets upon advance, given how many awesome ones you've already added?
No, that's still the same. You still get this the same number of edges. There's just a lot more to choose from. And like David said, we did kind of split them up between the core rules and the Carnage Companion, so players wouldn't get overwhelmed if they just want to pick up the game and go. Everything you need is in the core rules. There's more in the Carnage Companion. But yeah, in the core rules, we've got 94 new edges and 21 new hindrances. Now, keep in mind, a lot of those are species specific. And the Carnage Companion has another, what do we got here? 72 edges and 17 hindrances.
I think it's fair to say we have a plethora.
A plethora, yes. What was that? Was that from Jewel of the Nile or from Three Musketeers? Anyways, I think it was the same actor, but
no, that's actually from the Three Amigos.
Three Amigos. Why did I say Musketeers? I did not mean Musketeers. I meant Amigos. I do believe it's the same actor though. Anyway, he's great. Let's see. Wait. Yes, thanks for the goodies. This quarter is an ogre. Yeah, that's okay. Theater of the mind. I'm pretty sure, like even in Ogre, like the Steve Jackson production, there was like nothing. Like you actually had like it was there was a little 1 by inch by 2 inch thing that you put on a piece of tape. Before there was like Steve Jackson was a much bigger company before they started doing minis for their Ogre game.
Yes.
Yes, John Doom, Metal Slugs. Yes. Or throwing quarters around. Good. Okay, don't hurt anybody. And everybody wants the minis then. Here we go. Someone's already downloaded your Kickstarter and is already impressive on just how comprehensive it is. Okay. Good stuff. Yes, John Doom. I said Musketeers and I meant Amigos. And the Musketeers were friends, although there were 4 Musketeers. Which
technically, yes.
Right?
And they rarely use their muskets, but we won't go there.
Well,
right.
The 3 Musketeers that were the emphasis of the group, who brought in a 4th, but they were part of the Musketeers unit. So they're actually quite a bit more than 4 if you really want to get into it.
That's true, right?
This is why Dave's nickname is CDO, is because he's OCD. He's so OCD he had to put the letters in the proper order. Dave is our editor among many of his other duties, and he's exceptional at it. I can't tell you how many times he said, this is a pixel off. And I was like, what? That's BS. And I'm zooming in, and yeah, it was off. I don't know how he humanly catches this stuff.
Oh,
Sad thing is I can do this as I'm scrolling through the pages about this pace at normal size. Here's a whole page. There's a whole, stop, back up. It's right there, right there, right there. He's like, how do you find these? And I'm like, how do you not see them?
Awareness, notice +2.
Yeah.
Good.
So I saw the question about the damage chart there. That's we greatly expanded the injury chart for Battlelords. It's based off the one that's in Classic Battlelords, which is based off of when Larry wrote the book. Those are real battlefield injuries that he became familiar with while he was in the Army. And again, that dark humor, we've got phrases like sucking chest wounds or just nature's way of telling you to slow down. So yeah, if it is die 100, but in Savage Worlds, you use a die 10 all the time, and that's just rolling 2 die 10 because the chart is that big. But yeah, if you're playing with the gritty rules and you roll on it every time you take a hit, it gets interesting.
Yep.
Yeah.
You can blow the top of somebody's head off.
This is very over the top because people say about Savage Worlds, if you're pulling out a D20, stuff has gone south, right? Things have gone bad. Well, now if you're pulling out the D100, the D20 is chump change. D100 is where it's at in Battlelords.
And there is an option that if that you can roll with a D10, just a single D10. You don't have to use the D100.
That's nice. That's nice. But I think people like rolling more dice, right? Like everybody likes more dice.
And for those who kind of caught into the quote from a little bit earlier, we know that it would be not a good thing. We would hate for someone to tell you we have a plethora if we do not know what a plethora is. We do know what a plethora is. So when we say we have a plethora, we mean we have a plethora.
There's a perfect segue to explain. Battlelords is also chock full of pop culture references.
I love it.
Lots of them. If you go through the rules, you will find Easter eggs in the books that reference all kinds of things: Monty Python, heavy metal, lyrics and bands. Just if you're paying attention, you'll be like, just saw that.
The other unique thing about the book in terms of hidden references is there are multiple alien fonts used in the book. And if you translate them, they actually give you insights to what's going on behind the scenes in the map.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool. I love that level of I love Easter eggs and codes and all that kind of stuff. That's really cool. Here we go. Exploding D100s.
No acing with the D100.
Oh my god! So that is cool. Okay, so that's an awesome little Easter egg that you can actually go and translate. We did something similar. It never got to print, but for Bureau 13, we made some alien languages and made up the whole fonts and had the It's gonna be that was kind of part of the Kickstarter. It's gonna be you could get the fonts, you could translate it or type message in it, and I like that. Making up fonts is tough. It's not as easy as you think. Let's see. Go ahead.
I was going to just tag him back a little bit to things that hooked me on the game. This is going back to classic Battlelords. I don't remember, Tony, keep me honest on whether we have it in the Savage version. One of the other cool things that hooked me on the game early on was it's one of only 2 game systems where you can die in character creation in the classic rules. In prior editions, you have all these rules, these tables that we call the I was just growing up and the fickle finger of fate. And they can be really good things, and they help round out your character. So you don't have to come up with everything on your own. You get these curveballs thrown in, like you're a pathological liar, or you're a chain smoker, or you're neurotic, or you're OCD. And
I love it.
It goes up as you go up in levels. So it's just lots of fun little things. You have a perfect idea of what you want your character to be, and then all of a sudden all these curveballs come in, and you're like, I guess I'm a chain smoker now.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of like they call them life path kind of character generations, and So how hard is it to die though? Or is it harder to die than Traveler, or about the same as Traveler?
You can no longer die during character creation.
Oh, okay.
We took that out. Most people weren't a fan.
I mean, it is infamous, right? You can die before you even get to play your character.
Yes.
Although, I mean, there are fans. Tipsy Flipper is is a fan of Threadstone character creation. And and Hole HOL is a human occupied landfill. I played like one game of Hole. And I'm pretty sure Hole did it just because Traveler did it. It was kind of like a thing that was just like, we had to do it too. So yeah, well, you mentioned before, but this is really cool. How does ship-to-ship combat work?
With a few exceptions, it pretty much uses the existing Savage Worlds chase rules. Like I said, there are exceptions for sort of cheating in terms of moving up or down with your like displacement devices and things like that. But the focus is really on boarding. We really wanted to keep the game player focused. We didn't want it to be about moving little ship icons on a grid map. That's not the point of the game. It's to keep it character focused.
Yeah, even the original classic rules that we created for the 7th edition was focused on a chase mechanic because we wanted to stay away from getting into just miniatures gameplay. We wanted it to be about the players and the choices that they make. So we wanted them to be in a position where they have to choose. Do I want to shoot the guy that's got a laser cannon pointed at me, or do I want to fly the whole ship to the left a little bit so I don't get shot by the other ship? Choices.
That's good. That is good. Well, I am vindicated. Alfonso Arau is the actor who was El Guapo in the Three Amigos, and he was also also in Romancing the Stone, which was the other one I was thinking of. So yes, the actor was the same, even though my brain, and I think I even said Jewel Denial, which is the sequel to Romancing the Stone. But as Jody said, we've got a Kickstarter going on right now, so the limited brain cells are firing. But I would play El Guapo in space. That would be my character. And let's see, ship cannons. Getting hit by a ship cannon. Yes, I think yes, that would be you'd be on the D100 table. So let's see. Well, a couple minutes left. Anything else you guys want to share? Any upcoming news? Any kind of besides obviously, so Gen Con is the next big appearance. Backers are going to get their books hopefully beginning as early as next month. The books look fantastic. If folks haven't gotten in on this awesomeness yet, let me pull up the Battlelords.com and look at these guys have been around so long. They got Battlelords.com. Like that's how much credibility there is with this. Like they own the original domain name. I think we had to fight some guy for SavageWorlds.com and some squatter. We won, but that's awesome. So yeah, if people is it open for late backing now or for pre-ordering, or how's that working out?
Late backing is still open, but it's going to close shortly. Typically our rule is once we start shipping to backers, we close the pre-order store. The books are discounted on backer kit. So if you want to get in, now would be a good time because we're going to be closing that up soon. We are going to be, like I said, we're going to be at Gen Con. Quick start rules are free on Drive-Thru RPG. We'll be adding links to order the books on our website soon. Like I said, they literally arrived today, so they're not up there yet. The PDFs are, and the next book we're working on is Hostile Alien Life Forms. It's Uncle Ernie's Minions of Doom. We're going to have stats in there for both Classic Battlelords and Savage Battlelords. So hopefully we'll be kickstarting that later in the year.
That is awesome. So where can folks head for the backing if they want to do the late backing right now? Is it on Battlelords.com or is it you have to find your Kickstarter?
If you search for Savage Battlelords on Kickstarter, I believe it should pop up.
Let me see.
Probably check that. Frantic typing ensues.
Right? We're doing it. You can hear the clicky clacky. There we go. There is a pre-order store link. So let me pop that into the chat so folks can head there now because opportunity, that window is closing, folks. You must get in on it now or else we'll play retail prices. And who wants to pay retail? Let's see. Question. I know you guys, you're at Gen Con. You're going to ship to folks after Gen Con. Any chance that backers can pick up stuff at Gen Con and get signed by you guys? Or you guys can have merch, anything that's available at Gen Con that they can get, they can like give you money and then you give them like signatures and cool stuff?
Oh, we sign anything people put in front of us. Even if I haven't written it, I'll sign it. But we will have a lot of Gen Con exclusives, and we'll have some materials at Gen Con that you can't get outside of backing the Kickstarter. So yeah, there'll be stuff at the con that you can't get anywhere else. If you're there, stop by.
Valentine demands we save a shirt for him because he's going to pick up one of your awesome Battlelords shirts. And so the next time, you have to wear that the second we have you on the stream, Val, after Gen Con, you're going to have to wear your Battlelords shirt because I want to see what color you end up picking up, just how fantastically salmon and yellow it is. And right, exclusive merch. See, Jody's the true marketing genius. She knows like it's exclusive merch. That's what it is. So see you guys at Gen Con. That's awesome. And then Kickstarter backers for the books. There's also going to be, was it Uncle Ernie, Uncle Eddie? What's Uncle
Ernie's
Ernie.
Minions of Doom? Yeah, it's
okay.
we call his organization is ARM, the Anarchist Rebellion Movement. So we call it the ARM Summer Catalog. Uncle Ernie makes horrible monstrosities that he releases for fun and profit.
Mostly funsies.
Mostly fun.
You can just tell, like, you guys don't have fun doing this at all. Like, this is all very serious, and there's
such a long day. I haven't killed anyone in at least 10 minutes.
Oh my god, I need to play with you guys. I don't think I'm going to Gen Con this year, but we need to find a way because you guys are all a lot of fun. So congratulations on the backers on the Kickstarter. It was great. The really nice goal. I think you guys, it's just like what, 50,000 for your goal, which is awesome. So yeah, folks, like the Kickstarter late pledge is closing soon. Backers get their books soon. You guys can see these guys at Gen Con. And then hopefully, like other conventions, like the one in, was it San Diego, the other con, like reach out. These guys they'll bring some games in front of your convention and you can throw them tickets in a hotel room. And right now, Jody's got some ideas. You put the D100 table in Jody's brain, and now people are going to suffer because of this. Like, I just know, like, there's some.
You use the die 10s in Savage Worlds all the time. What if you took two of them and stuck them together? More carnage.
Right.
Excellent.
Twice the dice, twice the carnage. Well, awesome, folks. I would be remiss if I didn't point out. Let me pull this up so that folks can see, because not to take any time away from our lovely aces, but since it's not JM's stream, because he's JM update. JM is doing really, really well. He's on the road to recovery, and he's still a little fatigued, though, so it might be a few more weeks of me filling in for JM on this stream. So you'll have to look at my pretty face. But he's doing great and on the way back. So prayers worked. Thank you all for all the support for JM. And then for Peg, not SavageUniverse, for Peg, we have our own Kickstarter running currently for the 20th anniversary celebration. And just before stream, literally like 35 seconds before we went live, we showed off the brand new stretch goal. So where we were currently sitting at like 3 weeks to go, there's already almost 1,200 backers, well over 100K. Thank you all for that. But let me zoom down here a little bit, and Shane will kill me, but we'll go slow. When we get to the stretch goal section, there is a really awesome new stretch goal at 125. So if you guys, if you want to do this as an add-on, you'll need to have a physical pledge. So if you obviously we can't, it's not an add-on that's unlocked yet, but you can upgrade to physical if you don't have a physical pledge yet. We haven't shown the cover of the 5th Player's book, but that will be available as part of this stretch goal. So this little question mark here, not a sandwich, not Val, I know, I mean, if I would have eaten it already. It is a really awesome shoulder bag from Equilibrium USG with custom-made Savage World logo skin on the outside as a protector. It'll be an add-on for just $85. That'll be a lot higher in retail afterwards. And the cool thing about these bags, we've got some pictures in the updates. So let me go to show you the updates so you can kind of see what these are. Because Jody actually has seen these in person at Origins. And so we'll zoom down here. The update has all the details, but this is the actual bag. It's going to come in black with black webbing, red accents, and a red interior. And you can see Jody's got at least 3 of the Savage Worlds core books and then a Deadlands book in there in the back pouch, and in the front pouch, she's got a whole bunch of dice, room for pens and other game aids on the front. And then not shown in this picture is the skin that goes on the outside. It's going to have a cool customization feature and protective layer. So it's going to come, if you get the bag, it will come with the Savage Worlds logo skin for free included. And then if you would like to get an additional add-on for 50, you can get, and that's like half price of what it would be, or less than half price of what it would be in retail afterwards. You can get all 5 of the Players Books skins, including the mystery skin. All come together, and you can clip those on and swap them out as add-ons. So that is the awesome $125K stretch goal. It will be as an add-on, so it doesn't come with any of the current pledges. It's an add-on, and then the additional skins are also an add-on. So check those out when we get to 125K. Those will be available for you guys. So that is the exciting shoulder bag that I promised I would not let the stream go by, because we just demonstrated that right before stream. So thank you for allowing me my little marketing pitch, guys. Let me throw in I'll throw in a link to our campaign if you haven't seen the campaign yet. I mean, people watching the stream should have seen the campaign, because if you haven't, I have not been doing my job correctly. But I'll throw a link in the chat so you can go check out our Kickstarter. It's got 3 weeks left and doing really strong. So let me get a little branded link so we know where you came from. Here's that in. Oh, Jody. Look at Jody. Jody is so awesome. She already put a link, right? Jody's got it. So we go. So grab the link. That's for our lovely shoulder bag, and so check out the Kickstarter. And let's see. So discount code. If you would like to use the discount code, it'll need to be on peginc.com. So these will be add-ons during the Kickstarter. And then I don't think we're going to use peginc.com for a pledge manager for this campaign. So I think no, Raven, you have to wait for your next peginc.com order for your lovely new discount code. But I think that Raven is also hinting that she or he, I don't know whether Raven's a girl or a boy, or something else. But we sent out postcards. So I think we had a little algorithm on our website, and it spit out like the top 800 backers in the last year and a half. And we sent you all postcards, which linked to the Kickstarter. So that was a cool thing we did. So if you get those in the mail, check them out. There's a nice little link. You can come visit the Kickstarter. So we got 2 more minutes, guys, before we got to get out of here. Any last thoughts on Battlelords and what you guys are doing? Anything else you guys wanna? Yeah, Jody. No discounts at Kickstarter against Kickstarter rules. Tracy got her thing. Oh, I will mention before I turn it back over to you guys. Same bat time tomorrow. We've got office hours with the lovely Tracy Sizemore. Very talented singer-songwriter. You probably didn't know. Tracy was sending me some music she wrote and some videos, so I'm going to share those tomorrow, but a whole bunch more. So it'll be 7 p.m. Eastern, same twitch.tv/peginc. But last 2 minutes for you guys. Anything else you want to let the folks know out there about what's coming up from Battlelords? Any other fun things you guys are doing? Any TV shows you're watching that are great? Whatever you want, the floor is yours.
Dave, what do you?
I'd say just kind of for people to watch, we'll have Kickstarter coming up for the Hostile Alien Life Forms from the ARMS Summer Catalog. That's going to be coming after Gen Con, probably not long after Gen Con, hopefully. We'll have a lot of work to do, obviously, once we get done with Gen Con, getting everything shipped. So that'll take our time for a little bit, and then we'll circle back over to that. And then probably next spring, I'm guessing, we're going to look at running the one-shot adventure Kickstarter probably for Savage. So watch for those.
Awesome. So yeah, those will be in the newsletter, because these guys know where I live. So we will get those announcements in the newsletter when those Kickstarters are ready for you guys to preview and to back. So that'll definitely be the newsletter. And then Tony, anything else you want to share?
And just if people are interested, like I said, check out the free quick start rules. Check out the art. And I know a lot of people get the book just as a coffee table book, because we think the art's pretty incredible in it. But we hope everybody enjoys it. And like I said, we designed it utilizing as many Savage Worlds rules as we could, existing rules, so it can be ported over to whatever other Savage Worlds game you want to use that gear or rules in.
You want to do Deadlands with Savage Battlelords? Go for it. I will also add, we're very active on a lot of different forums and social media, all those social medias. Particularly, though, I would point to Discord, because we get a lot of questions and rules. There's a lot of people now that know the Savage rules as well as the other rules. So we get in a lot of active discussion related to questions about how would I do this, or how would I do that, or is this even possible? And the answer is usually yes. And the question is, do you want to do it this way, that way, or the other?
How do folks get to your Discord? How do they ask you for a link?
We can post an invite, a link on our Facebook and Twitter periodically. I'll do that today. And then if people want to jump on Twitter, The Discord link will be there, or our Facebook page that will have the Discord link. And we're also active on Instagram. We're on pretty much every social media. That's half my day. You could probably relate.
I'm on a lot of social media for being an antisocial person, and I did not in life expect I'd be using my charisma nearly as much as I do. So it's like, you dump stat certain things, and then they become your job. It's like, really? This is how this happens? So so I posted link to Twitter, posted link to Instagram, and I think I got one more link for your Facebook, just in case people want to find you there. Battlelords.com has links to all of it, so that's definitely the easiest place to go, folks. Right, darn dump stats. Yes, I was making fun of JM for dump statting Constitution. That's why he got bacterial whatever. But here's the Facebook Battlelords on Facebook. So these guys own the social medias; they're all over. But yeah, do find them. Head to their Discord, and then I think one last question, unrelated. Game board conversions. So there is a conversion for the upcoming Savage game. If you play the Superpower Companion and play Doomguard, the Doomguard board game is on its way. And Deadlands already exists, and there might be a Deadlands thing off in the near future. Other than that, Tickle Burger, you got to be more specific. So catch us tomorrow during Tracy's stream, and we might answer more board game questions. But that's a question for you guys. Ever thought of taking Battlelords beyond RPGs? Well, see, Jody, I mean, that was his problem. He wasn't playing Savage Worlds. Because if he was playing Savage Worlds, he could have spent the Benny and not almost died in the hospital. But instead, he was playing a game, an inferior game without Bennies. That's why I said Constitution. Because if he was playing Savage Worlds, he'd know you never dump stat bigger. So, you guys, any plans on maybe taking Battlelords to different venues?
We have done some early research into developing a scalable Battlelords miniatures game, but that's not in the near future. Let me put it that way.
Okay, so we'll save that for another stream. So that is awesome. So thanks, guys, for wearing the coordinated shirts. Appreciate that. It's a nice touch. Hopefully we'll see you guys at Gen Con. Definitely stop by the Carolina Game Tables booth and say hi to Jody and Clint, because they're obviously big fans already, and I'm a big fan. But I won't be there. Sad to hear. Folks, tune in tomorrow for Office Hours with Tracy Sizemore, and then we'll see you guys on that Kickstarter, because it's running for 3 more weeks. And and then the Battlelords guys, they've got a lot of great stuff coming. Those books look fantastic. Can't wait for the backers to be able to dive into all those 3 big books and the custom cards and all that stuff. So late backers, screen back up. There was a link to be a late backer. That's closing soon because they need to get it all done to get it shipped. And we noticed how hard that is. That's after all the work you do to play testing and art and management and get it printed, it's like, oh wait, now we have to ship it to all these people. Oh dear. So
you've got about 4 weeks till Gen Con, and once we hit Gen Con, prices are
right. Gotta pay more, and you can't get the stuff that was in the campaign. There's exclusives. So
exclusives in there,
right? Merch exclusives, all the good stuff. So thanks, folks. Appreciate y'all showing up for another great Savage World stream. Check out Battlelords. Check out the 20th anniversary celebration. And if you don't have your tickets to Gen Con, find these guys and play some Savage Worlds with them, because the games are popular and filled. So we will see you guys tomorrow, 7 p.m. Eastern. Cheers, folks.
Cheers.